Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sherlock. I'm Minister of State at the Department of Foreign Affairs. It is my great pleasure to open today's event, which marks not only the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, but also the 10th anniversary of the Irish Consortium on Gender-Based Violence. And I just want to take this opportunity, if I may, to thank Rosamond, not just for her kind introduction, but also for her invaluable service as chair of the consortium over the past 2 years. You'll have to forgive me, I'm a little hoarse today because I was at the U2 concert last night. So we were very enjoyable. Excuse me. The consortium is a truly unique body, bringing together as it does, thank you Rosamond, Irish humanitarian and development organisations with the Defence Forces and the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Given its diverse membership, it provides Ireland with a powerful voice on the global stage in advocating for the elimination of gender-based violence. The past decade has seen the issue of violence against women and girls come to the fore of policy discourse around development, human rights and peacekeeping. And while this increased political attention has brought about some notable progress, there is no room for complacency. Today, at least 1 in 3 women has been a victim of physical and/or sexual violence at some point in her life, and it is estimated that almost half the women killed globally each year are killed by an intimate partner or family member. Today, more than 700 million women have been married before the age of 18, with 250 million of those married before the age of 15. Approximately 130 million women have undergone some form of female genital mutilation. The scourge of violence continues to affect millions of women and girls today, both in developed and developing countries, and this remains a universal challenge. Recognizing this, the prevention of and response to gender-based violence remains a central priority for Irish Aid and is at the core of our work. We continue to work with national governments and with local and international civil society to strengthen their capacity to respond to gender-based violence and to support the development and implementation of laws which prevent such violence from occurring. I was proud that our work in this area was recognised by the OECD last year, which praised Ireland for the, and I quote, effective agenda-setting role it plays on gender equality and women's empowerment. As women and girls are particularly vulnerable to violence in emergency situations, Irish Aid prioritises their protection in its humanitarian action. Just last month I visited Azraq refugee camp in northern Jordan, home to almost 25,000 Syrian refugees. The majority of the refugees arriving to these camps in Jordan are women and children, and many of whom experience gender-based violence while fleeing their homes. As a result of the Syrian crisis, there are now more than 620 Syrian refugees in Jordan, putting a massive strain on the country's education, health and scarce water resources. And the impact of the Syrian crisis has been felt across the region, which is why Ireland has provided over 41 million euros in support since the crisis began in 2012. The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade also launched earlier this year Ireland's second National Action Plan on Women, Peace and Security. In light of our active involvement in humanitarian assistance and peacekeeping and our unique experience of conflict resolution in Northern Ireland, this is an area in which Ireland is viewed as a global leader. The plan places an increased focus on the importance of women's empowerment and participation in decision-making in conflict and post-conflict situations. It is fitting then that the theme of this year's seminar should focus on the goal of engaging men and boys in combating gender-based violence. The importance of engaging men and boys on this issue has been brought into focus over the past year by UN Women's powerful He for She campaign. I understand that there is an opportunity to sign up to the campaign here today, so I encourage you to pledge or support for this important initiative. So in conclusion, we're going to proceed to watch a short video which will explain the origins of the consortium. The video in today's event offers us an opportunity to look back at the consortium's many achievements since its foundation. We must now build on these achievements to secure the goal of the elimination of violence against women and girls by 2030. In this respect, I reaffirm today the continued commitment of the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade to support the work of the Irish Consortium on Gender-Based Violence. And in concluding, I was taken by Rosamund's reference to Karen Buckley in particular. Karen Buckley hailed from the next parish over from my own, and as I was coming here today, when you're thinking about these events, you know, you think about the people who you know, whose families you know, who are affected by this, and the immediacy of it. Because it's not just happening out there, it's happening in Europe, it's happening in Ireland, it's happening in our own parishes and neighbourhoods. And I'm so glad that Rosamund mentioned Karen, because we knew Karen. We knew her as a vibrant, decent, intelligent woman. And it's the immediacy of that, I think, that gives events such as this, you know, great importance. And it's important that we do engage comprehensively and ensure that we continue to, you know, from a departmental point of view, to support initiatives such as this, and particularly in terms of trying to shape the attitude of men and boys in particular. And I say that as a man in relation to our attitudes towards this subject. So I'm delighted to be here today, albeit for a short time. And I'm so glad that you did mention Karen, because I think she encapsulates, you know, so much of what this issue entails. So thank you very much for being here, and or thank you very much for the invitation to be here.